Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. We're going to explore how to streamline power by collaboration and deployment. The focus is on enhancing teamwork, automating processes, and ensuring governance for reliable power by projects. Over the next few minutes, we'll cover key strategies and best practices to help your team work more efficiently and confidently with Power BI. Let's get started. Let's talk about some of the key challenges we face when collaborating on Power BI projects. First, reliable deployments require structured workflows and automation. These elements are essential because they make sure that every change is traceable and that approvals are properly logged. Without this, it's easy for things to get messy. The core issue is moving away from hope and guesswork towards a controlled, predictable process. We need a process that not only moves quickly, but also ensures safety and accuracy. It's a delicate balance. Speed is important, but not at the expense of quality or control. Teams often find it difficult to maintain a controlled and auditable process. When workflows aren't structured, errors become more common, and inefficiencies creep in. It's a real challenge to keep everything organized and transparent. Without proper workflows, collaboration can become chaotic. When multiple developers are working on the same dataset without clear coordination, conflicts can happen. Changes can get lost, context can be missed, and errors become untraceable, making debugging and accountability tough. Managing changes from development to production is inherently complex. We need to track every edit, log approvals, and automate parts of the deployment process to ensure reliability. Without these measures, the process quickly becomes prone to mistakes. So overall, the challenge is to implement structured workflows that support automation and traceability. This way, we can streamline collaboration, reduce errors, and ensure consistent, reliable power by deployments. Let's take a closer look at the basics of PBIP. This slide focuses on how PBIP streamlines power by collaboration and deployment. Essentially, PBIP's structure is designed to support better teamwork by enabling more detailed tracking of changes. This means that everyone involved can work more effectively and with greater transparency. One of the key benefits of this modular approach is that it allows integration with version control systems like Git. These systems can track changes at a very granular level, making collaboration much more transparent and manageable for teams. Now, when we talk about the advantages of modularity, it's important to understand how PBIP organizes reports. Instead of dealing with a single, large PBIX file, PBIP breaks reports into organized, readable text files. These include the semantic model stored in a model, BIM file, along with separated visuals, connections, and JSON metadata. This structure makes it easier to manage and update reports over time. Finally, the core component of PBIP is the Power BI Desktop Project, or PBIP files. These files change how we store and manage reports, moving away from the traditional monolithic PBIX files to a more structured folder-based system. This approach enhances collaboration, versioning, and deployment processes, making Power BI development much more efficient. Let's take a closer look at how PBIP unlocks the technical potential of Power BI. One of the key features is streamlining collaboration and deployment through pull requests. This means that teams can review and merge changes in a systematic way, which really promotes better collaboration and helps maintain high-quality development standards. Moving on to change management, PBIP supports branching, allowing multiple team members to develop in parallel without overwriting each other's work. This setup encourages safe experimentation and enables the team to work on various features at the same time, speeding up the development process. Another important aspect is the ability to see clear differences between versions. Thanks to Git compatibility, PBIP can generate diffs that show exactly what has changed in a Power BI report. This transparency makes tracking edits much more precise and ensures everyone is on the same page. And finally, PBIP truly embraces modern DevOps workflows by converting Power BI reports into text-based files. This makes it possible to integrate Power BI into existing DevOps pipelines seamlessly, bringing automation and version control to a new level. Overall, these features, collaboration through pull requests, branching for parallel development, clear diffs, and Git compatibility, are what make PBIP a powerful tool for enhancing Power BI's deployment and management capabilities. Let's take a closer look at Slide 5. Here, we're emphasizing that PBIP, or Power BI Implementation Platform, provides clarity by making changes and updates visible. However, simply having visibility isn't enough to prevent conflicts or errors. Without proper governance and disciplined processes, those conflicts can become more obvious and harder to manage. Clarity requires governance. If we don't have rules and oversight, our audit trails, those records of changes, can become cluttered with unexplained or reckless modifications, leading to confusion and inefficiency. Now, when multiple people work on the same dataset, merge conflicts become more frequent. This is a clear sign that better coordination among team members is needed. It's not just about seeing the conflicts, it's about preventing them through structured workflows. And while PBIP makes changes more transparent, it doesn't fix the underlying workflow issues. Instead, it simply highlights where chaos exists. Recognizing these workflow issues is the first step toward improving collaboration and deployment processes. Now, let's take a closer look at the role of GitHub pull requests in Power BI collaboration and deployment. PRs help transform what can often be a chaotic merging process into something much more controlled and trackable. Think of them as checkpoints that you can audit and review, which makes the whole development process more reliable and transparent. One of the key benefits here is that PRs act as a form of gatekeeping. They reduce the risk of ending up with what I like to call Franken reports that are cobbled together from unchecked edits and inconsistent data sources. By doing so, they help ensure that the final report maintains high quality and coherence. PRs also introduce structured pauses, kind of like a traffic light, where changes can be reviewed and approved before they're merged into the main project. This step ensures that every change is thoroughly vetted, which helps avoid errors or conflicts later on. And speaking of conflicts, think of pull requests as traffic controllers at an intersection. They prevent multiple developers from merging conflicting changes at the same time, reducing the risk of chaos and ensuring a smoother, more coordinated collaboration process. This way, everyone's work aligns seamlessly, supporting overall project stability. When it comes to balancing pull request approvals, our goal is to streamline Power BI collaboration and deployment while maintaining strong governance. This tiered approach helps us do just that, ensuring we have the right oversight without creating unnecessary bureaucratic hurdles. It's about finding the sweet spot between control and efficiency. We map the review strictness to the impact of the change. So, more critical updates get a stricter review process, which helps prevent bottlenecks and keeps things moving smoothly. This way, we safeguard our most important updates effectively without slowing down the overall workflow. For high-impact changes, like restructuring schemas or rewriting measures, we require multiple reviewers. These are the changes that could significantly affect our reports or data models, so they need that extra layer of scrutiny to ensure quality and accuracy. On the other hand, low-impact changes, like cosmetic tweaks or minor adjustments, can be approved quickly, sometimes with just a single review. This approach allows us to keep the process efficient without sacrificing quality where it's most needed. Ultimately, effective pull request approvals strike a balance between speed and quality. By tailoring our review process based on the change's impact, we ensure that we're not bottlenecking progress, while still maintaining the governance needed to keep our Power BI environment reliable and secure. Let's talk about the benefits of the audit trail when using pull requests, especially in the context of Power BI collaboration and deployment. The audit trail acts as a powerful accountability mechanism, helping us keep track of who did what and when. It also embeds knowledge sharing directly into the workflow, making it easier for teams to stay aligned. This transparency is crucial because it reduces the tendency for firefighting and finger-pointing when issues come up. Knowing exactly what was approved and by whom simplifies troubleshooting and speeds up the resolution process, minimizing delays. Pull requests automatically log every commit, comment, and approval, creating a detailed and time-stamped record. This comprehensive logging not only fosters accountability, but also provides a clear history that we can refer back to at any time. Overall, these features make collaboration smoother, more transparent, and more efficient, which is key to successful Power BI deployment. Now, let's talk about automated checks with GitHub Actions and how they help us streamline Power BI collaboration and deployment. Think of automation as a silent, tireless review team that's always on the lookout for routine mistakes. It works quietly in the background, reducing human error and making sure our coding standards are enforced consistently across the board. This consistency is crucial because it helps us maintain a high-quality, reliable code base. The checks performed include things like verifying naming conventions, detecting DAX anti-patterns, validating schemas, and linting JSON files. These validations ensure that our work adheres to best practices and standards, making collaboration smoother. Now, how do these automated checks actually work? GitHub Actions automatically run validation scripts whenever code is pushed or a pull request is updated. This means that every change undergoes a quick, automated review, helping us catch issues early before they reach production. Automation really complements human reviews by running these scripts on commits and PRs, catching obvious errors that might otherwise slip through. This proactive approach ensures that routine mistakes are identified early, saving us time and reducing bugs later in the development process. Overall, automation is a key part of maintaining code quality, especially in collaborative environments. It helps us work more efficiently, maintain standards, and focus our human review efforts on more complex, strategic issues. Let's talk about starting small when it comes to automation. It's really about avoiding that feeling of being overwhelmed, especially for developers who are just beginning to adopt these new processes. By taking small steps, we can build trust in automation's value, showing tangible benefits without overcomplicating things. This gradual approach helps make the transition smoother and more manageable. Now, building trust is key here, and one effective way to do that is through incremental automation. For example, linting JSON and model files is a great first step. It allows us to verify that these files are structurally correct early on, catching issues before they can cause bigger problems downstream. Think of it as quality control at the start of the process, saving time and effort later. Speaking of structure, schema integrity validation is another crucial step. We need to make sure that the relationships within our data models aren't missing or broken. Maintaining this structural correctness is fundamental because it ensures our data models are reliable and accurate, supporting better decision-making. Finally, when we begin automating, it's smart to focus on high-value, low-friction checks. These are things like enforcing consistent naming conventions or catching obvious DAX anti-patterns that can hurt performance. Starting with these targeted checks helps us see quick wins and demonstrates the real benefits of automation early on. Overall, this approach, small, focused steps, sets the stage for broader automation success, increasing confidence and paving the way for more advanced processes later on. Now, let's look at how we can streamline Power BI collaboration and deployment through the use of various tools. Combining these tools creates a robust validation pipeline for Power BI projects, which is essential for maintaining quality and reliability. This approach allows us to catch issues early in the process, saving time and reducing errors down the line. One key aspect is the Power BI REST APIs. These APIs enable us to automate several critical tasks, such as running smoke tests, verifying data source bindings, and triggering report refreshes. Automating these steps helps us streamline the validation process and enhances overall efficiency, especially when managing complex or large-scale projects. Additionally, PowerShell scripts play a vital role. By leveraging the Microsoft Power BI MGMT module, We can query datasets, check workspace health, and validate metadata. This gives us a comprehensive view of our Power BI environment, ensuring everything is functioning correctly and adhering to best practices. Finally, there's Tabular Editor, which uses command line scripts to validate relationships, naming conventions, and calculation groups. This tool is particularly useful for maintaining consistency and ensuring our models follow best practices, which ultimately supports better quality and easier maintenance. Altogether, these tools form a powerful, integrated validation pipeline that helps us deliver reliable, high-quality Power BI solutions efficiently. Let's talk about how we automate checks in our PR workflows to streamline Power BI collaboration and deployment. This approach really boosts report reliability by catching issues early in the process. By doing so, we reduce costly production errors that can occur if problems slip through later on. One key aspect is enhancing workflow reliability. Merges are blocked until all issues are resolved, ensuring only high-quality code moves forward. This way, we guarantee that what advances to the next stage has been thoroughly vetted. When issues are found, failures are communicated directly in the PR conversation, with comments that highlight the problems clearly. Additionally, these failures turn the build red, providing an immediate visual cue that something needs attention. The process is triggered automatically. Every time a pull request is opened or updated, GitHub Actions runs a suite of validation scripts. This setup ensures immediate feedback on code quality and compliance, helping us maintain high standards throughout the development cycle. Overall, these automated checks help us catch issues early, improve collaboration, and ensure that only reliable, compliant reports make it to production. Let's talk about the benefits of automation in code reviews. First, when automation works alongside human reviewers, it actually enhances the overall quality of the code. This partnership allows us to address strategic concerns more effectively, which ultimately leads to better software outcomes. Automation also helps us maintain high standards without risking burnout among team members. It ensures that our reviews are consistent and reliable, which is crucial for long-term success. Another key benefit is speed. By automating routine checks, the review process becomes much faster. This means we get quicker feedback, and our development cycles are more efficient, helping us deliver value faster. Bots handle tasks like enforcing casing rules and ensuring naming consistency. This division of labor allows human reviewers to focus more on the intent behind the code and its overall quality, rather than getting bogged down in repetitive checks. Finally, automation reduces reviewer fatigue by taking care of those repetitive, predictable tasks. This frees up reviewers to concentrate on more strategic aspects, such as business logic and design quality, which are critical for creating robust, maintainable software. Deployment pipelines for Power BI are essential for moving content smoothly through different environments like development, testing, and production. This process helps us transition reliably between these stages, minimizing errors and ensuring everything runs seamlessly. By automating and standardizing these transitions, we shift from relying on guesswork or superstition to trustable, auditable operations. This transparency is key for accountability and for tracking what changes are made and when. It also significantly reduces the risk of deploying to the wrong workspace or accidentally breaking important reports in production. By promoting datasets, reports, and apps in a specific order, we maintain the integrity of the deployment process and avoid confusion. This orderly promotion ensures that everything is updated correctly and consistently. Replacing manual publishing with automated, repeatable processes enhances reliability and consistency. It eliminates errors that often come with manual steps and makes sure our content moves across environments in a controlled, predictable way. Overall, these deployment pipelines are a vital part of streamlining Power BI collaboration and ensuring our reports and data are always accurate, secure, and well managed across all stages. Now, let's take a closer look at APIs for deployment pipeline management. These APIs are essential tools that help us streamline how we deploy and manage our Power BI content. One key feature here is the rollback capability, known as the backward deploy feature. This allows us to quickly revert to a previous stage if something doesn't go as planned, ensuring stability and confidence in our deployment process. Another important aspect is automatically refreshing linked apps upon promotion. This is handled by the Update the App feature, which keeps all related content synchronized without manual intervention. Moving on, we have selective deployment options. The selective deploy feature gives us the flexibility to choose specific reports or datasets to move forward in the pipeline. This way, we can manage individual pieces of content precisely, rather than deploying everything at once, which can be more efficient and controlled. Additionally, there's the ability to deploy entire workspaces with the Deploy All feature. This is particularly useful when we want to promote a complete workspace to the next stage seamlessly, making the process more efficient and ensuring nothing gets left behind. Finally, for those who need more advanced control, the Deployment Pipelines REST APIs offer powerful capabilities for managing our deployment flows. These APIs allow for fine-grained, automated control over the entire process, giving us the flexibility to tailor deployments to our specific needs. Together, these tools and features help us create a more streamlined, reliable, and flexible deployment process, which is crucial for maintaining the integrity and agility of our Power BI environment. Now, let's discuss some practical considerations and limits when working with Power BI deployment. First, it's important to note that deployment calls are limited to 300 items. This means if you're dealing with very large workspaces, you might run into this cap, which could prevent you from deploying everything in one go. Understanding this limit is crucial for planning your deployment strategy and avoiding unexpected errors down the line. Next, we need to consider ownership issues that can arise after deployment. When service principals become owners of the deployed models, this can sometimes block scheduled refreshes. Such ownership can disrupt automated workflows, forcing you to intervene manually to fix the problem. Another key point is that service principals can't configure OAuth for data sources. This limitation could mean you need to manually fix credentials, adding extra steps to your automation process. Finally, regardless of whether you're using human accounts or service principals, it's essential that the caller accounts have the correct Microsoft Entra ID permissions on your pipelines and workspaces. Without the proper permissions, you risk encountering issues that could hamper your operations. All these factors highlight the importance of understanding these limits and considerations to ensure a smooth, scalable Power BI deployment process. Let's talk about integrating pipelines with GitHub Actions to streamline your Power BI collaboration and deployment. One key point to consider is rolling your own scripts for maximum security and support. By creating your own scripts, you gain greater control over the process and reduce your reliance on external tools, which can sometimes introduce vulnerabilities or limitations. Another important aspect is leveraging community GitHub actions, such as the Power BI pipeline deploy action. These tools can automate your deployment workflows efficiently. However, keep in mind that these are third-party tools and are not officially Microsoft certified, so it's essential to test and validate them within your environment. Using YAML configuration files is also a smart way to manage your deployment pipelines. You can map specific repository folders to deployment pipeline IDs, making the whole process much easier to manage and update over time. And of course, security remains a top priority. Store your Azure Service Principal credentials securely in GitHub repository secrets. This practice helps protect sensitive information throughout your CI/CD pipeline, ensuring your deployment process is both efficient and secure. All these elements come together to create a more controlled, secure, and streamlined Power BI deployment process that fits well within your overall collaboration strategy. Let's talk about how governance can be streamlined to support Power BI collaboration and deployment without becoming a burden. The idea is to make governance feel like guardrails rather than roadblocks. We want to avoid overwhelming developers with unnecessary paperwork, which helps foster respect for the process and minimizes firefighting when issues arise. Think of governance as guardrails. They guide us but don't slow us down. We can combine automated checks with human judgment to focus our efforts where it really matters. This way, we prevent unnecessary work and ensure that governance is both efficient and impactful. To guide reviewers effectively, we use PR templates that clarify key points like business logic, schema dependencies, and testing notes. This structured approach helps reviewers stay focused on the most important aspects of each change. And of course, effective governance balances control with speed. We tailor our rules based on the impact of the change. For minor, cosmetic edits, we can use lightweight approvals, but for critical model changes, we implement strict multi-reviewer gates. The goal here is to create a governance process that's flexible, efficient, and aligned with our overall theme, enabling us to collaborate and deploy Power BI solutions smoothly, without unnecessary friction. Now, let's look at how we can streamline Power BI collaboration and deployment. One effective way is to connect wire merges into deployment pipelines using REST APIs or GitHub Actions. This makes the process repeatable and auditable, supporting continuous integration and continuous delivery, what we often call CI/CD. Combining these practices helps us achieve a balance of speed, safety, and traceability, which is essential for managing changes effectively. Next, we can enhance safety during deployment by pairing pull request approvals with automated checks. This means that before any changes are merged into production, they go through automatic validation to catch obvious mistakes. It's a simple but powerful way to minimize errors and ensure that only quality updates go live. We also have the Power BI Implementation Project, or PBIP, which is great for version control. It provides clean, component-level diffs, allowing us to see exactly what has changed. This visibility makes collaboration smoother and ensures that deployment is reliable, especially when managing multiple versions or complex projects. To wrap up these practices, integrating deployment pipelines, automating checks, and using PBIP bring together speed, safety, and clear traceability. They help us manage Power BI projects more efficiently and confidently, ensuring that our deployments are both smooth and controlled.